please share the live with everybody you know. We have Dr. Reddy that will be joining us soon. And today's topic is science meets spirituality. So if you'd like to invite your friends and family, please let them know that we are live on TikTok as well as on Facebook. So I'm just going live on Facebook. Getting my pen and paper ready. I'm glad everybody's doing well. Doing okay here in South Africa. It's freezing in Johannesburg, so I'm keeping warm. I have my blankie with me. So please share the live, everybody. Let me just clear the space. How's everybody doing? Hi now, how are you feeling? Oh, thank you. Let's just clear the space. Yeah, weather's been crazy. I just took a lozenge now just to clear things up. The weather has been intense. So we'll just give it a few moments. There we go. So yes, guys, and if you can, a moderator, if you can please put it in the comments. If you could please go and follow Dr. Reddy, so that he can get at least 1,000 people. So when he comes live, we can actually see him. So when he comes live, it will just be his voice. You won't be able to see him. So if you can, please go ahead and follow him. I think it is at Reddy. Let me just check. Hold on. It's at ready.reggie. That's his handle on TikTok. So moderator's gonna put his handle there. Then you guys can go follow him. And we're trying to make this a series, like a weekly thing. So Wednesdays around 8 or 8:30, we'll have different topics surrounding medics and spirituality and how we can bring them both together and why we should bring them both together. So very interesting topic. I hope you guys will enjoy it. So I'm going to wait a few minutes for him to join us. It is his first time on TikTok, so hopefully we'll get it right. So please bear with us, everybody. Just with the technical things, and then we can get started. So please share this live with everybody and anybody who will find the topic interesting. If they do not have TikTok, please let them know we are on Facebook as well. So if they go to Facebook, and my Facebook page is Dragon Flame Healing, I'm live on there as well. Hey Billy, how you doing? It's been a while since I've been online, guys. I'm sorry. It was freezing Monday night, so I was in bed at like 7 o'clock. And then it snowed. So we played in the snow and then got sick from playing in the snow. but it was a lot of fun. It's nice to have snow in South Africa once in a while. Ah, no. Yes. Join the club. Me and Ronald are there. We in it thick and snotty. So while we wait for Dr. Reddy to join us, how about we do a quick healing for everybody with flu or cold? Are y'all open to that? And everybody on Facebook as well, if you have a cold or if you're feeling sickly, if you want physical healing, you can just write in the comments. You can say yes. And we can send out some healing. Good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome. Please share the live, you guys, while we wait for Dr. Reddy to join us. I know he is busy with a seminar right now, so when he logs off there, he will join us, inshallah. Okay. So while we wait, let's just do a quick healing. Oh, as soon as I said it, I'm already heating up. But I don't want to take my jacket off because I got a cold. Hold on, he's just messaging me. He's on his way? Okay, cool. Perfect. Let me just reply to him. Sorry, you guys. I'm just telling him I'm doing a quick healing in the meantime. So, if anybody would like a healing quickly, if you have flu or any physical illnesses, cold or whatever, if you'd like that healing, let's just call in the dragons, spirit guides, spirit team, angels, everybody to come through to put us in a bright white light protection bubble to keep us safe, secure, protected, and grounded. If you'd like the healing, everybody, please take a deep breath now. And we ask the angels to send healing to everybody and everybody who needs the healing. Okay. From any sicknesses, illnesses, for a speedy recovery. Yes, we can. We can definitely do that. Okay. Invite is sent. There we go. Take a deep breath, Tomiso, and we'll send the healing now. Hi, Dr. Reddy. Are you there with us? Can you hear?
Yes,
Yes.
Prenisha, I'm there. Thanks for the nice healing session. I just got a few last minute to it, but I feel so good already.
Yes, thank you. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you have a very busy schedule, so thank you so much for fitting us in.
No, great. I mean, I love that spirit of going to the universe and embracing everybody's energy and to connect up with the correct resonance. Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely. So, everybody, this is Dr. Reggie Reddy. If you could kindly go and follow him so we can get 1,000 follows for him, so that every week when we do have these discussions, you'll be able to see his beautiful face radiating his energy to all of us. So, please, if you can, go and follow Dr. Reddy Reggie. That's the handle on TikTok. And then we can have these talks regularly. Um, so, Dr. Reddy, can you please tell everybody, the viewers who are here, a little bit more about yourself? Who is Dr. Reggie Reddy?
Well, I'm just a servant of servants. I'm here to as a servant of the world and servant of the world community. That's firstly, and
Mhm,
and I just practice dentistry as a passion, as something that I love to do, and I love to play the part of with people like yourself to
mhm.
generate healing.
Absolutely.
The two parts of healing, and one's as astral, one physical healing, and I'm
Mhm,
originally from KwaZulu-Natal, and I grew up in a farming community outside Kranskloof, outside Pinetown, and that's where my roots were, and then landed up into Durban North, and so by some journey of life, and I studied in South Africa, but I spent a large part of my late teens and 20s internationally. I studied in India and a bit of the UK, and it has been a tremendous experience. I worked a little in the UK as well, and then came back to South Africa, worked in Cape Town, and then worked in Johannesburg. And by destiny, and I got to live in a place called Springs. I didn't even know Springs was, but the universe sends you to a place for a higher purpose of life. And there I started my dental practice, and I love being involved with community and doing selfless work. And I'm a being of the universe. I grew up in a family that is universal thinkers, and where my
mhm,
dad and mom, and though we grew up in an Hindu environment, but it always exposed us to the confluence of all religions. All rivers of the world lead to one ocean, and we had that kind
yes.
of thinking and backdrop. Ends that I tune into the Satya Sai Baba philosophy of life, and
Mhm,
based on the five human values of truth, right action, peace, love, and non-violence that transcends all religion. So I
yes.
like to think that I'm a universal thinker, can connect up with anybody, anywhere in the world, because heart is one. And as a saying that cows are many, milk is one, stars are many, sky
Mhm,
is one. I believe that we
mhm,
are beings of existence in the world, but our heart connects up in the world. To heal the world today, we need our heart. I love the prayer you did. I relate to the heart chakra, and which
yes.
is a wonderful thing, Pranisha. And I pray
Mhm,
that the world needs young people like yourself.
mhm.
And I want to play
Yes.
that journey in this world to help young people to be those beings of light, and how young people can heal young people. And the world is
Mhm.
such that we're 67% of young people and we're 33% of older people. So the young people got important roadmap to say that we're the leaders of the world. We want to make a difference in the world, but we want to make a difference to ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. So coming from, like you said, you're brought up in a space where, we treated each other as one. There's no such thing as race or religion and things like that. So coming from a very um, open-minded background, how did you then get inspired to go into medicine and dentistry? How do we bridge that gap between science and spirituality? Because a lot of people, when they're very scientific, they don't understand where does spirituality fit into the whole situation. So what inspired you to get into medicine, having a sort of spiritual background and being open to the ethers?
I think I was one of those fortunate beings in the world. Since the age of 4 years old, I wanted to be a dentist.
Okay.
So I kept my roadmap and my narrative and my focus from the age of 4 years old. And I grew
Yeah.
up in a family that, we had dentists in the family, we had medical doctors in the healing space. And my dad's brother was a dentist.
Okay.
And I always said I wanted to be like him. But, but I wanted to use dentistry as a means of playing a part of healing the world. And I practiced normal dentistry for about 18 years as a traditional dentist, but I realized there was a missing link in my life as a dentist.
Mm.
And that missing
Mhm.
link was that how, as a dentist, you're able to integrate dentistry as a whole body perspective of healing. And
Yeah.
when I saw that aspect, I realized that, for example, that each tooth in the mouth is related to a meridian in the body,
Mm.
right? And there's
Okay.
connectivity of a neurological system in the whole body of that, right? So to understand the scientific background, we know that in the physical world, we all are so-called practice physical medicine from a dentist perspective, from a general practitioner, or from a surgeon, or whatever it may be. But there's another
Yeah.
part of healing, which is in your spiritual being of existence. It's called astral healing. And
Yes.
astral healing could come from the higher force of the universal connection. So it
Mm.
works on the principle of intuition, and your intuition
Okay.
is not blind. In Sri Aurobindo's book, was a great Eastern philosopher, but was a
Yeah.
universal thinker, and written a book called Adventure to Consciousness. And in that
Mm-hmm.
book, he said, "Faith is not blind. Faith is the energy center." So I was attuned to this, and sometimes I would see a patient that they think they got a teeth problem, but it's not a teeth problem. It may be an emotional dysfunction. It may be another part of the body that is connected to be in a dysfunctional state. So, in terms of the scientific aspect, you approach a patient from an allopathic perspective, what we call the physiological diagnosis, looking at the pathology and the biochemistry. That's all the physical aspect from the scientific. But from the
Yeah.
spiritual context is that there is beings of life that we measure in life to say that, for example, Prenisha is born in this world, but the science tells us you are an old soul, you're born 8.4 million times in the world. But how do I
Mm.
heal you from the past life, not only from the present life, right? And
Yeah.
physical healers, psychologists from the Freudian theory look at only the present. But I'm able to connect to your inner spirit and from the past life. So I know sometimes you have pain in the mouth, but the pain is not a present pain. It may be an old pain. But how do I
Yeah.
generate that information? That information comes from my astral healing. Where that's based in
Mm.
the sounds of silence. And sometimes I go into a meditative state in my practice in silence.
Wow.
So so to look at the patient and look at what we call the aura of the patient, the aura of
Mm.
the patient, and in terms of how the patient emotionally looks in terms of happiness. And there's a science show that the muscles the muscles of pain are more intense than muscles of laughing, you know
Yeah.
and from the scientific aspect, when you say measure the aura of the patient, that how
Mm.
your energy center, that how your energy levels, your posture, your skin levels, we call what you call your white, your sclera in your eye. Is it balanced on your left and your right? If it's not balanced, right? Have you got a positive outlook? Your tone of your voice, your words, your expression. So these are
Yeah.
these are little things that determines that. So the inner spirit, we know that the scientific tells you that the aura of Prenisha is related to a
Mhm.
scientific world from a biophysics, what you call the KLM shells. But from a spiritual world, we know that your inner spirit is your aura that you generate, what you call the principle of resonance,
Mhm.
right, in yourself.
Mhm.
It is
Yeah.
based on the thing called the 3 R's. The first thing is that, when I see a patient, what do I do? I normally look at the patient, I do some reflection in relation to the patient's aura that connects up to the astral, right?
Mhm.
And then
Nice.
before I create the correct resonance of myself and that patient, I almost like encircle the light of myself with the patient, and I expand the light into the universe, right? And I'm able to
Mm.
connect to the universe to get the correct answer. What potential pain I can relieve in the patient from a physical, but also from an astral healing perspective, the inner spirit
Yeah.
that we connect up to the universe.
Hmm. Wow.
Uh,
That's amazing. I love that you do that. So I know that's also part of something else that you've sort of been a part of. It's the HDMAS. Can you
yes.
kindly please explain that to us? And if people would like to Google it, they can Google it. But can you kindly explain what that is?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, when I practiced for the first 18 years of my career, and then I
Yes.
realized there was a missing link in my career. So I began
Yes.
to evolve my practices called holistic dental medicine and surgery. And my website is www.holisticdentist. So I realized that I had to take dentistry and
Mm-hmm.
integrate it with the greater well-being and health of the patient. Hence, I changed my dental practice to Dr. Reddy into HDMAS. So whereby I'm able to look at the patient, but not from a dental perspective, from a healing perspective, and using
Mm,
dentistry integratively and holistically of the patient to find the correct diagnosis beyond the teeth, right? I give you
mm.
for example, right? So if the
Yes.
patient is tends to we know that in today's time most people like to have C-section babies, and as a result of that they're more mouth breathers and the more allergic reactions, and the biggest thing is that they have pH imbalances of the world, and so that's what happens in there. So that causes something called affects the liver functions in your that relates to health and your diet. So I took this HDMA's concept of holistic dentistry, but related to the seven body systems: your
Mm-hmm.
cardiovascular system, your respiratory system, your logical systems, your what you call the liver, the pathology system, and your gastrointestinal tract. So I'm able
Mm-hmm.
to use dentistry, but to help the patient to look at themselves as a person to being in the world to heal them by myself, but also integrate with other practitioners and most importantly, other energy healers like Prenisha.
Mm. Absolutely. Um, so, so when you encounter people who are sort of skeptic about, the spiritual realms and energy work, and, also coming from a place where you are dealing with medicine and science, what do you say to those people who are skeptical about whether, energy exists or God exists, or what is this thing about an aura? How do you then explain to them, how does spirituality and science come together, for the skeptics out there?
I think this is a very real situation that you spoke about, right? So I
Mm.
normally express my language in a very universal way. And when I
Yeah.
talk about the aura, I talk about the happiness of the patient, right? And I said
Mm.
that in terms of your well-being. And then I show them certain
Yes.
sciences that of this happiness and this well-being in relation to what we call as an aura of the patient, your skin texture, right? The
Mm.
the color of your skin, right?
Yes.
And your eyes, the color of your eyes, the brightness of your eyes, right? The relaxation of your muscles, right? The dryness of your skin, right? And
Mm.
your degree of smile or happiness. So I talk
Yes.
about these things, and I bring them into a real spectrum, from a very simple, mundane way, and then I
Yes.
show them from a scientific way. If
Mm.
you are more relaxed, your skin tends to be better, more brighter. Your eyesight tend to be better. You got more happy smiles that you got. The language that you use is more positive, right? So I
Mm.
try to approach it in that sense. So I try to
Okay.
kill off the skeptics in that kind of context, right? So I
Yes.
give you an example. I use a bit
Okay.
of yogic therapy in my practice on
Okay.
breathing, and I don't talk
Mhm.
about yoga, is it? But I talk about the science of breathing, the science of an exercise, how to straighten your spine orthopedically, and how that affects you. So
Yeah.
when you approach it without relationship to any word of God,
Yeah.
because because the nature of spirituality is one, and even if you're an atheist, you don't believe in that, but do you believe that you can breathe? The only thing that's important in the world is your breath and your breath control. If I can
Yeah.
if I can get somebody to breathe harmoniously with themselves, and you have a longer life. And what's a sign to show that? Rabbits and dogs that breathe faster in the life have a shorter lifespan. The
Yes.
people who do in the mountain climbing like Kilimanjaro, Mount Everest, they they breathe in and breathe out minimally.
Yes. That makes so much sense. Even the people I've seen, the oldest living beings are there in Japan, Okinawa, and they tend to practice a lot of Tai Chi, which is control of the breath. So that makes a lot
Yeah,
of sense that the slower you breathe, the longer life you will have.
yeah, and something very interesting, Prenisha, about breathing and breath control. By
Yes.
nature, is that your mouth is meant to eat and speak, and your nose is
Mm-hmm.
meant to breathe. So
Mm-hmm.
we're finding that now people are beginning to have sleep apnea, snoring, because they tend to breathe more to the mouth than the nose. So in
Yeah.
my practice, I convert them to more nasal breathers and mouth breathers,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes, that is. I have seen a lot of people, they even have like a tape that you put on your mouth. So before you sleep, you tape up your mouth so that you can breathe with your nose. There's actual things like that now, which is
Yes,
crazy.
yes, yes, definitely, definitely, definitely. Yeah.
So, um, from now, from the present and the future, um, what is your mission? What would you like to see change in the world, or change in medicine, or change in spirituality? What is your mission here? Do you believe is your
Okay,
sole purpose?
okay. The first thing, let's talk about the change in medical sciences. By
Yes.
the grace of the universe, I'm
Mhm.
involved in a group that's rewriting medical and dental syllabi in the world, right?
Wow.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, right. And how to integrate knowledge together, and how to show the science of biochemistry, biophysics is related to the greater well-being of an individual. So I think
Mhm.
that is one of the biggest things that my mission in this time is to change the narrative and way medicines and dentistry is going to be taught, right?
Yes.
And I do some health consultancies at the moment. I'm trying to influence change in the practical world of medical science and dentistry, but also been trying to influence dental schools, engaging deans of medicine and deans of dental schools in the world. And I believe that this is my biggest mission in this area. Then the second
Yes.
biggest mission is for young people in this world, and the young teenagers and older people. There's a wrongly classified a misnomer in the world about ADD and ADHD, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah,
There
right.
is.
About attention deficit syndromes. So
Yes.
now, and people are on Ritalin, on Concerta, and these things. And one of my missions this time is to get everybody out of Ritalin and Concerta by teaching people naturally with some natural medicaments, but also to show them that if you breathe to your nose more productively, what's the importance of that, Panisha? The nasal passage is the only passage in your body as nitric oxide, nitric. So when you
Wow.
breathe air from the outside, your air gets filtered and get pure oxygen. When you breathe to your mouth, your
Mm-hmm.
air is unfiltered. Hence, your carbon
Mm.
dioxide ratio increases more,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So
Right.
in a classroom situation where you have people saying, "I'm not a morning person,"
Yes.
Yeah, right. You ask the teachers in school, they said that children are only more attentive after the morning break, not because they're
Yes.
hungry, because they didn't have a good night's sleep. Mouth breathers don't
Mm.
sleep properly at night, right? So
Yeah.
instead, the teachers put them on concentration. So one of my missions that I want to get people out of this. Okay. The second thing is that how can I play a part in the medical and dental profession to get people to think more integratively instead of thinking
Mhm.
more linearly, what you call compartmentalizes diagnostic aspects, right there.
Yes.
Then the fourth thing is that I want young people in this world to be happy chappies. I want them to be
Yes.
leaders of the world, right? Right.
Yes.
I believe that I've got two sons, and I always tell them that. They chose to carry it to be in the finance world. I said,
Yeah.
guys, the most important in the world is to be happy. When I teach medical dental students or whatever discipline I teach, I said, when you go to work at 8 o'clock and finish work at 5, you must be as happy at 8 and at 5,
Mhm.
right? Right,
Absolutely.
right. And I believe that the energy of the youth and the wisdom of the adults, that must marry together, right?
Yes.
Right. And I would like to generate this thing about education. I would like to see
Mm,
that the character is a biggest propulsion of change. It's not
mhm.
about um, knowledge and pumping people with knowledge. What is the reason I'm generating that narrative? Because today, in
Yeah.
differentiate anything that you need, you can get it through
Mm,
Google. You can get it to any search engine. Knowledge is there. So
yes.
you should teach the children how to elicit knowledge, to understand knowledge, and then implement it. It's called precept and practice. Not pump children with homework and parents of homework to 10 o'clock at night and overindulge knowledge. There's a nice
Yeah.
case study in
Mhm.
Finland where they have
Yes.
a 3 day school.
Mhm. Wow.
The 3 day school has the highest productivity in standards of education and right and in work ethic. It tells you a big story in the work. So children need to be learned to how to understand knowledge instead
Yeah.
of becoming becoming robots of learning knowledge robotically, ingestion and expulsion of knowledge.
Exactly.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And in fact, the last thing that I would like to see in the world, that we become this bright sparks of universal thinking, but you are the change mechanics. Let There's a lot of things to complain in South Africa, but I believe we've got a
Yeah.
lot of solutionist thinking. And one of the
Yes.
reasons that I've decided to live in this country, because I believe that if you live in this country, you must be positive and have a solutionist thinking. I believe that who can change this country? It's not the politicians. It's you and
Mhm.
I, like people of society, is to come
Mm.
together and to say that what we want to change. I want to change the way I live. I want to influence and change the people in contact with me. The most important thing is to is to have a more solutionist thinking and to have more less complaints and more positive thinking.
Absolutely. For the viewers out there, if you have any questions for Dr. Reddy, to please put them in the comments. While we're waiting for the people, I just have an extra question here that popped up in my head. Dr. Reddy, is medical aid open to natural medicines? So can we use medical aid for natural medicines? Where's
Yes and no,
medicine?
yes and no, and lots of
Yeah.
medical aids like discovering these things are beginning to
Yeah.
accept prescriptions, and they're paying for certain consultations now, and they're paying for some of the natural medications. I think that dialogue and engagement is happening with lots of medical aids because they realize that allopathic medicine doesn't all the answers. Neither does
Mm,
complementary medicine or integrated medicine doesn't all the answers. But working together, we can have a solution. And there's definitely there is thinking in the medical space, and medical aids are beginning to rethink this aspect of just disposing of non-payment. I think there is definitely a narrative of coming together to pay.
okay, okay, that's good. There was a comment here for people who are mouth breathers. What can they do right now to sort of shift that? Should they do a couple breathing exercises before bed? Do they need to
Uh,
change
one of
pillows?
one of the things you said, is to buy a single Mayapol tape from Discam or Clicks or any of the pharmacy and tape your mouth. But that's not that's just a quick fix, right?
Yes.
but but the most important thing is that you should understand that you have to change something very important in mouth breathing. You see what happens, Prenisha, in mouth breathing. Your tongue becomes thickened. The reason for your
Mm.
thickening of the tongue is a high carbohydrate diet.
Oh, yes.
Right, so the carbohydrate produces a thing called triglycerides, and triglycerides get deposited into muscular tissue, and one of the
Mm.
muscular tissues get deposited is your tongue.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Your tongue becomes thickened. The reason your tongue become thickened because of the triglyceride. Then when you sleep, you tend to put your tongue outwards, and you see all mouth breathers have dryness of the lips, the dryness of the skin. So you have
Yes.
to one change your diet. Secondly, is that there is a lip exercise to bring your lips in. There's a tongue exercise to keep your tongue. on the roof of the palate. Because all mouth breathers, what they have, what they call is a reverse swallow. Your tongue is downwards and backwards instead of the roof of the palate. So you have
Yeah.
to change your diet, and then you have to do the tongue exercises, and then you have to do what you call is alternative nostril breathing, but
Okay.
very slowly and very gently.
That's also a yogic, I think, that practice where you go like this and like this.
Yes,
It's
that's correct.
totally,
Exactly how
yeah,
how you demonstrated. Yeah, exactly how you
yeah.
demonstrated. So it's a very integrative approach, and there's a diet program, there is a tongue exercise program, there's a breathing
Mhm.
program, and there's a sound therapy program. So when you play a mouth
Oh,
instrument like a flute or a recorder or a mouth organ, automatically your lips come together, your tongue goes in the right place, you swallow correctly. So it's a very simple
yeah.
thing to I teach children to do, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and then from a dental perspective, there's a few dental appliances that we use to help to control your tongue and to get you to reverse from mouth to nasal breathing. There's a
Wow.
program that we got.
Okay. Is there any
Yeah.
other questions from our viewers out there?
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
I think Prenisha, I think we're going through an exciting period in our country. There looks a lot of darkness, there's load shedding, but I think in the spirit of load shedding, there's a lot of light. And I already give the story. In the darkest of skies, there is a shining star somewhere. Let's look for the shining star.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
What can people look forward to in our upcoming events? Just a quick teaser of what topics we'll have for the next couple of weeks that you would like to discuss with the
Yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I would like to discuss something on education and education, human values. I would like to discuss some aspects of how can we get our uh, live in the world but not affected by the world, right? For example,
Yeah,
that how you work in the corporate world, and but you don't get consumed by the corporate mentality, but how you
absolutely.
generate change in the corporate world, right? And
Mm,
the thirdly is about ethics and values, in life. I think it's important. And what are the key ingredients of generating of peace in yourself? How can I become that peaceful being of expression? Because if you're peaceful, the people around you will be more peaceful, right? and
absolutely.
and I think it's important. I think, and the other aspect, I like to talk something about health and diet. I think how diet, and not only just diet, but I think combination of foods, the science of decreasing carbohydrates, and I think from a cosmetic perspective, how diet affects your skin, affects your eyes. I think these are important aspects which I would love to discuss as some of the topics.
Absolutely. I love
Yeah.
those topics. So, guys, please stay tuned. It will probably be every Wednesday is the slot around 8 or 8:30. We will have these topics, but stay tuned. I will post them on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. So make sure you follow on all that social media. Dr. Reddy, I know you're also on YouTube where you post different videos as well.
Yes.
Um, can people get a hold of you? Can they email you if they would like to discuss more about this or they want to be involved in medicine if they are in medicine also? And how can they get in touch with you? Are you
Yes,
open to it?
yes, absolutely. I'll be delighted, Tanisha, to engage with them, and you give them my email address, and my YouTube channel is Reggie Ready, and in fact I'll send some channels to you, and you can put it on the links for them to watch
Ab-
on TikTok or on YouTube, whatever it may be, and I'll be delighted to engage on each and every one. I'll try my best. We are one big circle of light in the world, and let's be that light in the world.
Absolutely. And do you have any like final message for the people who are watching here, just having it rough, no, there's no water, there's no electricity, it's cold. There's other things that are happening in the world. Do you have any words of inspiration for them or just some
Yeah. I think the first thing that comes to my mind, right? The way you communicate in the world is critical. And you don't always to oblige, right, right, but you can speak obligingly, right? And
yes.
there's a saying that your mind must be cool as a moon, and your heart must be soft as butter, and your
Mm,
words must be sweet as nectar. right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
there's an expression, you must be like the rose of divinity, right? And right, and the jasmine of humility, right? And the fragrance of the magnolia tree.
I like that. um, yeah, I think
Uh,
that's great because people tend to get stuck in their minds or stuck in the depression or the heaviness of life, and we
yes,
forget to laugh, we forget to breathe, we forget
yeah,
to live. Sometimes we're just
yeah.
walking around like zombies.
Yeah, and the most,
So
but Prenisha, the people have to realize the most important people in life is the self. Prenisha is the most important person of self. She can be the
yeah.
chain mechanics, right? And that's number one. Number two, she should realize that there are other people in the world who are worse off than you, right?
Yes.
Right, when you go to parts of Africa or you go to parts of South Africa, the people are still living on one tap for 1,000 population, and in the rural areas where sometimes I do free medical camps, and you always look at that. Sometimes I know that's difficult. We don't feel sorry for ourselves, but remember, there's somebody worse off than you, and you can generate that happiness and of contentment within yourself, right? And
Mhm.
we get caught up in the world of communism, whether we fast food communism, quick fix, quicker. But there's three things I like to leave the viewers with.
Mm.
Life is a long haul, right? We
Mm.
are here as marathon runners in the world, right? Whether you're
Mm.
running marathon runner from age 1 to 80, we're not sure. But be that
Yes.
marathon runner for your own self, right?
Mm.
It's intertwined in three things. It's called the
Mhm.
patience, the perseverance, and the purity within yourself,
Absolutely.
right?
Mm.
And you realize that smile more at the world will smile more
Mm.
back more at you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm not sure what the time is. It's just 10 minutes past 9. Are there any questions in the comments? Does anybody want to know anything? Well, we still have Dr. Reddy on with us. So next week, guys, we will have one of the topics out. Please stay tuned. And please go and follow Dr. Reddy on TikTok. So the more followers he gets, we'll be able to see him. So he needs a minimum of 1,000, and we can get that quickly. So please go over and follow him as well, so we can have him on here and we can see his smile and see his aura also. So make sure you go and follow him. And stay tuned because we have lots of topics coming up. I think we can also do a Zoom meeting where we can actually have discussions with people. I think that's also really nice to have. And then we can also have other guests come on to give their views and topics as well that we can talk about. So, are there no more questions? No, no more questions. Um, so I think that's it for today, Dr. Reddy. Thank you so much for joining us. It just was a quick introduction. And then tomorrow we'll have a chat. Maybe I'll send you the post for next week of what we're going to talk about, and we can get more viewers coming in and get that wisdom out and get that energy out. So, thank you so much for sharing your energy with us and your wisdom. I really appreciate it. And
Thank you, Prenisha. I mean, it's been a great evening, and I love this energy of being positive in the world. And each one of us can take a little positivity in the world, that we're here together, we are breathing together, and we're connecting up to the circle of light.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for bringing in your energy. It was so exciting and inspiring. I really appreciate you and your energy. Thank you so much for being here with us and sharing your wisdom and taking the time. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure everybody we have so many comments there. I'm not sure if you can see them.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes, I can, I
yes.
can, I can, I can. Thanks to all the participants as well. Yeah.
And stay tuned, guys. We have lots more to discuss, a lot more of healing to be done. We really have the time and the energy to do it. So we're going to do it now, and we're going to shift things, change things, increase the energy, increase the vibration. So thank you so much, Dr. Reddy. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for the likes and the
Thank you.
gifts.
Yeah.
And we will see you all soon.
Take care, Pranisha. Thank
Bye,
you. Bye
everybody.
bye.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
Dr.
You too.
Reddy.
Bye. Bye bye.
Bye.